Just turned on the stream. Just double check that it works because if I were to do it, we get some crazy sound echo.
Mhm. Yo, how's my game? Is that all
You're
right?
fine.
Okay.
I don't want sound echoes. I'm getting really good about setting it up. That's pretty easy this time.
Good. I feel like every time you have to sub in, it gets easier.
Yeah, always. So, Alan, you're doing both OCSC and
Yeah,
Fairweather?
same. Yeah, Fairweather's the main one, and then I'll be mostly doing podcast stuff and not doing as much writing this
OC.
season. Yeah, I did a lot of the like post game writing
Uh-huh.
last year, so I won't be doing nearly as much as that because I'll be at SD Loyal matches instead.
Yeah, because you're based out of San Diego, right?
Yeah, I'm like 15 minutes from the stadium, maybe. It's
Nice.
super
So,
close.
so what was the whole deal with you and OC then, other than like any other team? Just
It's just the closest team.
okay.
Like it was between them and Phoenix. And Phoenix was like, I can get to see more games in person at Orange County. And then it was just they reached out to ask if anyone wanted to help. And so I was like, I mean, I can. I'm not great, but I can. So I just got hooked up with them, and because I didn't think San Diego was going to get a good team anytime soon.
Got it.
It's shocking it took so long. I mean, it's such a big city.
You have alcohol. That actually sounds good, but I am too lazy to go get. All right.
Oh, is there time to grab alcohol?
Yeah. We'll give time. I'll give him.
Okay, hold on. Just give me like 10 seconds.
Yeah, so we
Look how kidding. Beer, 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 beer. Hello. Do we lose Brad again?
maybe he went to go get.
Oh, cool.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
I guess we can go ahead and whenever you're ready, let's get out of here because you have your show at 7, right?
That's correct.
All right.
Okay.
This is a very fitting beer name, the Local Lager by Lead Dog.
Lead Dog, yeah.
I'm doing Attack Frequency, double fruited, double dry hopped Attack Frequency from Modern Times.
Oh, that's a good
Nice.
place. Love that place.
And I will be drinking it in my Hit Reveal glass with my Stone logo, my Stone branded SD logo.
Oh, very cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love that shirt, Matt.
Yeah, I don't know. I grabbed the first blue shirt on the rack, and this just happened to be it.
All
Fair
right.
enough.
I guess we are ready. All right. 5. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 62 of 1868 Weekly. I am your host today. My name is Brad Polonsky. If you've never heard of me, well, good, because I don't want to hear from me either. I am joined, as usual, by one of my other lovely co-hosts, Matt Rafferty. Matt, how are you doing today?
What is up, man? I'm doing good. I'm finally settled for the day, and we get to talk about some soccer coming up, and man, couldn't be better.
I agree. And also joining us this week, we have a special guest all the way down from San Diego. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Alan.
My name is Alan. I am a local in more ways than one. Live in San Diego and member of the supporters group, and I co-host the Fairweather podcast, which covers the all things San Diego Loyal. So I'm glad to be joining you guys. Sure, I have some questions for you guys as well to share with the listeners later on the San Diego podcast. But we're looking forward to our first real road friendly against actual professional competition.
And what other games have you guys played this year so far?
We had a friendly against FC Dallas pretty early on. It looked like most of their like their B team kind of guys. Then we played, I think, Fullerton, Cal State Fullerton, then Costa de Este from the Panamanian Premier League. So it'll really be really good to see how they stack up against some USL competition.
All right, for sure. So on the docket today, we have a quick little recap from a closed door session that Reno played last weekend. We have some media day interviews. Unfortunately, John can't be here today to really introduce the interviews himself, because he did a good job with them. And then we have this most important preseason game coming up at noon this weekend. And those are some things that we should be very much looking forward to. So, shall we take it away?
Let's do it.
All right. So, Matt, give me a heads up, a recap of that preseason game from this weekend.
All right. Well, I mean, we weren't given a whole lot of information aside from what they put up on Twitter, but they were playing NPSL side Sac Gold FC out of Sacramento, obviously, and they kind of took it to them. If you look at the the timeline here from Reno 1868's account, you have I think this was broken up into 3 sessions again, just like the last preseason game. I think it's like 3 half-hour sessions or something like that. And we had the first goal from Aiden Apodaca in the first session. Corey Herzog with the second goal, also in the first session. Going into the second session, it kind of trailed along for a while, it looks like. And then the third session, things started picking up a little bit. Foster Langsdorff with the third goal. Sac Golden put in one, and then Corey Herzog topped it off with another goal. And that made them finish 4-1 after all sessions. And I mean, I know it's an NPSL side. It's closed door. It's preseason, but this is still a good sign.
Yeah. Good news coming out of that. A 4-1 victory is pretty good. I almost went to this. I think I was just finishing up. I was just walking out of my caucus site last
Attaboy.
week. Yeah, I know. Just walking out of the caucus site, and I see the tweet go out, and I'm like, well, I'm in my car. I'm already on the road. I could go to this. And then I'm like, well, they didn't tell us this for a reason, so I'm just going to respect the closed door aspect. We have a game coming up the following weekend, so good news there. Also, I forgot, we need to ask you, where are you, Matt?
Where am I? That is a good question. Unfortunately, I did give you a little bit of a hint at the beginning there, but what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna let Alan guess first. I'm sure he knows
Familiar.
so much about Nevada and our lovely landscape, and Matt gets to see more of this lovely state than anybody I really get to know. Really, once when you go east, it actually is pretty beautiful.
Oh yeah, especially in the Great Basin National Park area. It's absolutely gorgeous.
So, Alan, I know you are so familiar with our lovely state, and I will give you the first shot. What do you think if you're pulling up a map?
Yeah, Bald Mountain. I don't know. I just Googled Great Basin National Park.
Man, you know what? That's actually where I was for work, but this was on the way back to Reno. That's really a lucky guess.
It was the first thing that popped up, so I went with it.
Nice.
You know what?
Brad, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna say that this is over by Winnemucca, on your way kind of back, and say that this is Sonoma Peak or Star Peak, one of those out there that you're looking at.
You're on the right track. Actually, you're kind of in the same range. It's south of Winnemucca along 50 between Austin and Fallon. So yeah, you mean you were close. You were pretty dang close.
All right, between
I will
Austin.
give it to you. And like it was one of the few ranges that actually had a decent amount of a little bit of a snow cover on it, and it's been uncharacteristically warm, so it's nice to see the snow. So I had to get a shot.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Everywhere in the state is beautiful unless you go to Vegas, in which case it is.
Well, they have
Yeah.
Red Rock, but technically that's not in the city limits, so can't give it to them.
Yeah, I can't give it to him. If you like extra, go there. If you like wholesome, literally anywhere else in the state.
Yep, absolutely.
So we covered really quickly. I mean, we knew nothing about the game really, so I don't think we can really go into too much more detail. Forgot to change back to myself. Do you have anything else to say about this preseason closed door match against Sac Gold?
It's nice to see Corey putting up multiple goals. And one of the tweets indicated that he was doing some one-touch goals. I don't know if it was both of them, but at least one of them was a one-toucher. So keep it up, buddy.
Yeah, I think
that's how you get it done.
Yeah, that's how we did it every single time last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess without further ado, this past Tuesday was the media day. That would be yesterday, or no, 2 days ago, Monday.
Yes.
Was media day. And our very own John Macaluso got to kind of sneak in and grab an interview or two or three or however many interviews he got. And, well, I guess I'll let the team speak for themselves. How about I do that? Let's just drag this on over and...
Yeah, we're looking forward.
I'll switch to playing the video and turning on sound so I can watch.
Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and start the video now.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a strong year, obviously, on the field and off the field. On the field, it's going to be a little bit different in terms of how we play. If you watched the San Jose Earthquakes last year and Matias Almeida is their head coach, they play a man-to-man defense, and there's a lot of different instances where a man-to-man defense takes into play, but we'll be switching to a man-to-man defense this year, and it's a lot of work. A lot of guys who need to be fit, and early season, that definitely it takes a toll. So preseason's been fun, but it's been extremely difficult for the guys as well, but look forward to seeing a different playing structure at the same time. On the field, we'll certainly have a probably even a more exciting team for the fans to be able to take on in. Obviously, we bring back Corey Herzog as our leading scorer from 2019. And then we'll stay consistent with some of our themes and our giveaways that have done very well. We're still looking to bring in an international team, whatever that might look like. Something maybe a little bit different this year, so that's still in process. But those are some of the things that to look forward to. Yeah, you look for a certain type of player when you play for Reno 1868, one who needs to be a leader on the field. You look for certain qualities, non-negotiables that coach talks about, the type of player that he looks for, and one who's going to work extremely hard. So, we've had a lot of success bringing guys back. 8 is actually a very good number to be able to bring back. But at the same time, I think it's good to freshen it up a little bit. And the type of guys who we have will fit the system very, very well. Mohamed Dabo in the middle of the field will make an impact right away. Cristiano Francois on the wing. Talk about a snap of a finger, blink of an eye. He will go extremely quick down the sideline, and the guys are still learning how to play with him. But it's been fun building out the roster and seeing what's out there from other clubs, and Tucker Bone coming from Colorado Springs, and seeing these guys who have had experiences elsewhere, but this playing style is going to be nowhere like they've played elsewhere. Yeah, the next step within that is we haven't been able to find the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, so we would love to be able to do that. We finished in the 2 seed last year, and then moving forward from that, no matter if you're the 1 seed or if you're the 10 seed in the USL Championship playoffs, finding success in the playoffs, and particularly at home, is nothing more than we want as an organization. Trust me, the guys and the coaches want it more than anybody in the crowd probably. It just hasn't come yet, and I think certainly there's frustrations behind that, but at the same time, every year is a new year. And in soccer, how it works is it comes down to one game after you play 34, 36, 40 with exhibitions, preseason games, all that. So it's a long season to get to one game, but you've got to be able to take care of business, and hopefully we're able to do that this year.
It's a good new group and all that, so it's really exciting to get to know the new guys and then figure out tactical and how we're going to play this year. Excited. Yeah, it'll be a good team. I really like the locker room, the guys on the team. We have some really good players coming in, some exciting ones too that the fans will like, so it'll be exciting. The first 8 games didn't have a goal or an assist or anything like that, so anything can happen. Just keep believing. But the object is to make playoffs and go farther, so that's the number 1 goal right now. Just win. That's what we want to do. I mean, it was unfortunate how everything went last year with the last game of the season. We could have done a lot better. We had the team to do a lot better, so this year we just had to prove that. As a goal scorer, you just want to get that first one, and once that, it's the monkey off your back. So it took a couple games last year, 8 and 9. So, but hopefully coming into this year with just the confidence right away, just to score goals and bang one in on Saturday.
3rd year, 7th year in the league. It's every year is a fun and exciting time. Be able to go out and work to win a championship, and hopefully we can do that this year. Bringing in some young guys and new faces, I think, is always good. It changes the outlook of, what are we trying to accomplish and how we're trying to accomplish it and who we're accomplishing it with now. The crowd's great. The environment, just walking into the stadium each day knowing that, hey, we got to put it out on the line today. That's probably the most exciting thing. We're looking at different players to play different roles that are critical for the success of this team, and we think that the way that the Western Conference plays, this new style or the style that we're going to hybrid into is going to be critical for us to challenge teams and make it difficult for teams to play against us. Yeah, obviously the speed, athleticism is definitely something in the American game, so the more speed and athleticism you can add to your roster along with the soccer IQ, that's the edge. You look for not just tactical superiority, but positional and individual superiority. And if you have 11 guys that are faster than their 11, that are smarter than their 11, stronger than their 11, you're going to find success.
Feeling really excited. It was a long preseason, and we have been working out some of the kinks, and we're ready to get started again. I mean, it's been a blast the last 3 years, and I keep coming back because it's been so much fun, and we've had a good team. So I'm excited to get going on year 4, and hopefully we have another good season. All of preseason has been guys feeling each other out and getting used to playing with each other. We've gotten a lot better defensively, and we're starting to work on getting better offensively. So we're excited to see how this next game goes, and I think we'll be ready for the season to start. I mean, it's a little early to say, but we have some good guys coming in, obviously, that came back from last year, and then some ones that with some new signings this year as well that we're really excited about and that I think will do really, really well for us. We had some good tests in preseason against some good teams, so we're definitely getting more and more comfortable with each other, and we'll be ready for the season to start.
All right, so I'm going to let you guys catch up a little bit with a bad joke or two. The first joke is, what did the fish say when he swam into a wall?
What?
Damn.
Oh, dad jokes.
I know. And the second one is, what do you call a fish with no eyes? Fish. FSH. All right. Well, bad jokes aside, I think you guys are all caught up right now. Did anything stick out from you from Media Day?
Yeah, definitely. Especially Doug talking about the change in tactics. I know that people have complained a little bit about the defense, is that, our attack could be banging, but they still keep letting in costly and unnecessary goals that, make us drop points, especially on the road. A lot of ties this last season. And if they're going to shore up the defense and play to San Jose and Almeida's system, playing a stronger man defense, if it works out, I'm all for it. That is really the key focus, especially with as many attacking players as we have coming back. We really need to shore up the defense, because we have some key guys who are going to be starting who have never played in Reno before. It seems like everybody's excited for the season to start, that they're hopeful for what they can do, and everyone just, they seem excited and ready, just like us.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited already. One thing that I did like that was brought up by Mr. Raftery is the idea that we're still trying to have stuff like those international friendlies that we have every year. We're trying to figure out who it is that we're going to get this year. But either way, I'm looking forward to the season just as much as anybody else on that team is. Brent Richards said it perfectly. It's been a long off season. And I guess, 3 more days and we have our first real chance to see 1868, the boys in blue, at home. Alan, anything stand out for you there?
I only have experience watching Reno a couple times, and one of the times I didn't have a super great showing in Orange County.
Yeah.
With that, I know that you returned some guys, but you also lost a good chunk. Changing tactics might be something for sure to kind of build, if you're working with San Jose, to kind of build around. And it'll be interesting to see kind of how they come out. I'm super interested, like legitimately interested in seeing how 1868 line up on the pitch. And it's nice to see a coach maybe taking a look at their players and saying where our strengths, where our weaknesses, and really making those adjustments. And I'm interested to see if it actually comes off on the pitch or not. So you'll have to keep me posted from Friday, because I don't think you're streaming it. So I'll be interested to see kind of how they line up and what kind of effect that has on the team.
Nice. Actually, I do think our team might be streaming it. I saw a placeholder in my YouTube subscriptions about that game.
Cool.
So
I would love to be able to like check it out because I think it would be both very informative because I mean Reno's always been kind of one of the top teams in the West. They've always been pretty successful, at least the past couple years for sure. So I think it's a really good test to see kind of where both teams are. And I'd be really interested to get a chance to watch it because I obviously will not be there in person.
All right. Well, while I have you chatting, who are some players that we should be keeping an eye out for from San Diego? I have a couple listed, but I want to hear it from you directly of what should we be worried about and how we should be worried.
They recently, the past couple games, have been lining up kind of like a 3-5-2, 3 at the back, and then they're 5 midfielders. So they don't roll with 2 traditional wing backs like maybe like a Real Monarchs. They kind of use 5 midfielders and then 2 attacking players, and they've been playing really high pressing offense. There's been quite a few times where all 11 midfield or all 11 out or 10 outfield players are on the attacking side of the pitch. Obviously, that's anchored. You mentioned Joe Greenspan, and I think he's probably the biggest name that was brought in. Towering kind of center back, cleaned a lot of things out against Panama. They were down to 10 men, and he really kind of anchored that back line. If they play him on the wing, Elijah Martin was a really solid kind of left back, if you will, in that 3-man system. In the midfield, Charlie Adams, you might remember him from Orange County for about half the season last season. He's back in the USL. He's always an interesting guy, really good in possession, really slick. And then up top, you have Irvin Parra, who you know from Vegas. Lawal looks kind of dangerous. And then, we've signed a couple of 1868 players that you guys probably really aware of already. But someone you might not be aware of, Tumi Moshobane from Lansing Ignite has looked pretty solid, along with Jerome Nyom. Those are kind of unknown, I don't say unknown, but less known players to the USL scene. Most of the guys you sign have USL experience, and you will recognize them. Their offense has been not quite clicking, as you would assume. A full team getting together for 5 weeks probably isn't the most efficient system as far as playing together and knowing where you're going to be. But they do play a pretty exciting attacking play. They do play high pressure. So if you have, they're going to put pressure on that back line, and it might be a good test to see kind of how that back line solidifies. I know you guys just got done talking about that. It might be a good test to see how they handle that high pressure. There was the counterattack. There was a couple times they got caught out a little bit, but recovered quickly. So there might be a chance to kind of counterattack out of a defensive corner into an offensive strike. But there seems to be a lot of pace, and like I said, high pressing, high attacking, really kind of fun as a supporter to watch. But they went down to 10 men and really hunkered in and kept the Costa del Este off clean sheet. So, yeah, any other questions?
Got any, Matt?
No, I was just going to comment that that makes me really excited for this game because traditionally Reno has played a pretty high press, and they can counterattack out of the back, mostly on the wings. But it's yet to be seen how that's going to work now because that worked so well last couple of years because of the excellent pairing of Brent Richards and Duke Lacroix. And now we don't have Duke. We still have Brent around, but if Ayrton Staddy can fill in the boots of Duke, then I think that them pressing high and counterattacking quick off from the outside should stand true. You had mentioned San Diego picking up some Reno players. We are going to be very familiar with Raul Mendiola and Emra Clementa. Raul, I noticed, was wearing the captain's armband when they played the Panamanian side. So, that's great for him. Seems like he's really taking a leadership role there, and that kind of scares me because if I remember correctly, he put in 2 over this last season against Vegas. So he's not he's not shy against scoring against his old teams. So either way, this should be a very fast-paced and high-attacking game, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm with Matt on this one, and I'm also with you. I'm excited to see kind of what this new team that you guys have, because you guys signed a lot of players for your first season. Like, what do you guys have, like close to 30 people on roster right now?
There's some on the roster that haven't been quite announced yet, but you're fielding essentially 2 full teams. So and then 3 goaltenders that have been announced. I think 2 of them announced, hasn't been. So yeah, they've looked for depth, and they basically, the philosophy was, we don't want to sign a starting 11 and then 6 or 7 backups. We want to sign 20 guys who can compete for 11 spots, and there's going to be some really good players who aren't on that starting 11 for the first match. So I think that competition is good. I think what we learned from New Mexico last year is depth is super important. And when your first year, you're signing a bunch of new guys, you need as many options as possible. You don't want to run low in any one spot. But there's some good talent. There's some pretty experienced MLS guys like Salzizo, who probably isn't going to get every start, but it's nice to have that guy who's been there. And then a good mix of established players and some youth players. I mean, the youngest is 19, so it's not like we're Tacoma. But there's definitely some guys who probably couldn't go out after the game to grab a beer, but most of them are a pretty solid, 20 to 28 age range. So they're signing guys kind of in the peak of their careers, and hopefully it comes off. Like I said, they're still getting used to each other, figuring out where they are on the pitch. And there's a couple times where a more well-oiled machine might have put 2 or 3 in on Panama. To get one was nice. It kind of was one of these plays, a hustle play, a rebound, and Jack Metcalf got to it first and buried it. And that's kind of been how the goals have been, just kind of nice build-up play, and guys just kind of pouncing on rebounds and being the third and fourth guy in. So we'll see how it goes. It could be a shootout.
Yeah.
It'd be exciting. And it doesn't count for points, so who cares?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's nice to see a new team join the league and really spend the money and build a very professional looking side. So, good to have San Diego into this league, because the more teams that we can get that aren't academy like teams like Tacoma, the better. And San Diego is definitely looking like they are here to stay. And I thought that even though they're a brand new team, I thought that they had a really good offseason with some of the signings. I know you mentioned Greenspan. He's that big guy from Pittsburgh, that big defensive anchor that you were talking about. But secretly, I like Lawal, Lawal.
Yeah.
He had that huge goal against Phoenix. He used to play for Fresno last year. He had that huge opening goal against Phoenix last year. In that game that Phoenix had their streak broken in, and towards the end of the year, he was a scary attacking player, who definitely knows where to find his spot on the pitch and bury some balls into the net. So it'll be interesting to see how this upcoming weekend goes. Again, Raul Mendiola and Emra Clementa are 2 players that you never want to see leave. Emra should have had more playing time, and I think both mine and Matt's opinions. But I'm happy to see they found a home where they both are going to get, hopefully, a good chunk of minutes next season.
Yeah, they've been pairing the preseason friendly. They paired Lawal with Para, and I thought that was a pretty potent combination if they can start clicking. It's like, who do you mark with the double team? Do you mark Para and kind of leave him open, or do you Para goes into the box, and now you have Lawal, who's also a competent guy on the ball. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think that there's a danger to catch them out from time to time because they are pretty offensive minded. Usually, you have your wing backs go up and they're defensive, but it's more like defensive midfielders that rotate around more than defenders. But I think Jack Metcalf and Charlie Adams are both capable of rotating in to make a kind of 4-back line as they rotate into defense. But in transition, I think with that really high pressing and 3 at the back. I think there's some opportunity if you guys have some pace to get behind and give some fits to the back. And like I said, I think it's going to be a really good test for San Diego. FC Dallas against kind of their B team is whatever. College kids, the Panamanians, like you don't really know like what the level of that squad is. So I thought it was a really smart one to schedule Fresno as kind of your last tune-up before you take on the Las Vegas Lights at an actual kickoff time as opposed to 11 p.m.
We are not Fresno, by the way. We still exist as a team.
Sorry.
the other no town.
The other no town. Once you get north of Orange County, it's all negative.
Yeah, sure. I'm excited for this game too. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to really be a test, I think, for both teams. We haven't had an opportunity to really see how our team looks or really know who's playing or starting. I don't think they've even told us a starting lineup. I have, this is going into questions for Reno, one of our segments that we do. I have no idea who's even starting in goalie, if we're getting a San Jose player or if Reno just has a guy signed to the roster or trialist that they've never announced. Excuse me.
Well, as long as they send down Matty B or JT, I'll be happy.
Yeah, but we don't even know if we don't even know who's been playing in goalie. They had that little tease about Kevin Partita as a goaltender, and he scored a goal against San Jose, I think it was. Who knows? I don't necessarily put much stock into these closed door matches because they usually do some weird stuff behind the scenes. But it's gonna be nice to finally see who Reno is playing, and it kind of sucks because I know that you've got to see a lot of these games because San Diego wants to get that image out there of this is our team and expose you guys before the season starts, but we've had nothing up here.
Yeah, the Dallas game was supposed to be a closed door friendly, and then they opened it up to season ticket members for that. I think that very reason is like, hey, we got to get some folks out here. We got to get people seeing the team. This last preseason friendly, obviously the last home one before the season started, I think there was 3,000 plus out because I think people are just hungry for professional football. I mean, there's a NISA team here, and that drew 2,000 to 3,000 a game. But I think you got to step up to USL is just going to attract more people, and there's definitely a buzz here. So I feel you guys, if they were like, you can't see any preseason games, I think people would have shown up with pitchforks and torches, kick the door down and be like, what the heck is going on? So I totally feel your pain. I know with the unpredictability, it's really nice. Like, I want to see what the team's like. We've changed some stuff with the turnover in USL. It's always a crapshoot to see who's on that pitch that first game. So I commiserate with you guys.
Well, yeah, I would have hated to see Totero Stadium be burned down because it's not even a stadium you guys own yet. Or at all. Okay, so Matt, do you have any questions for Reno or in general about this upcoming match? Any other final comments?
Man, aside from just the actual lineup, which we have already complained about, my main question going into this before I even looked at your notes is who's going to be in the net. I think that's really where it stands. Money, I feel like my money would be on one of our two boys from last year. I don't think there's been too much of a shuffle in the keeper department in San Jose, just because they're San Jose and they just keep chugging along and being sucky. But as long as they send either of those two guys that we're familiar with, who are familiar with the pitch, who are familiar with the other players, and playing at altitude, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think more than likely, because I know that they did trade away Tarbell to Columbus, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
So Tarbell's gone, so that means that if we do get one of the two, it's going to be whoever they're least interested in as the backup to Vega, because I know Vega's still the guy there, at least as far as I know. So I think my money is they're going to be more invested in the homegrown player, which is JT. So I think it's more likely we do get Matt Bersano back up here next year. But again, anything's possible. I have no idea. That's literally just a guess. But without further ado, shall we have our first prediction of the year?
Yay, predictions. All right.
What you got for us, Matt?
Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to go with the safe call here, the one where you throw out there when you're not sure what's going to happen, because we don't know what's going to happen. It's preseason. We don't even know our lineup. We've like you and I have never actually seen San Diego play, so I'm going to go with the safety bet of 2-1 Reno victory, with goals from Corey and our new center attacker, Mr. Dabo.
All right. Alan, do you want to weather a prediction for us? I think yours is going to be a little bit different than ours.
I think we're gonna go 2-2 draw. I think we're gonna get a couple goals. I think Reno has historically been pretty consistent in the attack. Had some turnover, I think, but I think you kept enough good pieces that you can put some points on the board. So I'm gonna go with because I'm a guest, I would usually pick a San Diego win. They've been undefeated so far. We don't want to lose that streak.
By all means, man, predict what's in your heart.
I do think it's going to be a pretty fun match. I think it'd be kind of open at times. So I'm going to do a 2-2 draw.
All right. Well, I'm actually not against you on this one. This is the preseason. I don't put any stock into these games. I imagine that, the starters in this game for Reno are probably going to get 50, 60 minutes kind of as a tune-up. And then we're going to see trialists the last 30 minutes or back-end guys, people that are going to be fighting for those extra minutes in games to be the subs. So I'm also going to say a 2-2 draw, and I'm going to go with Corey Herzog and one person that I would like to see score a little bit more now that he's back in his wonderful home state and hometown, and that would be Kevin Partita. I'd love to see him score. I'm going to do what I did last year with Corey, is pick Kevin until he scores.
That's the way to go, man. It's a safe bet. And it looks like in the comments, we have a prediction from our own 1868 supporter, Antonio. Hi, Antonio. Thank you for joining us. And he is calling a 4-1 victory for Reno. 2 goals from little Sam Gleadle, 1 for Corey Herzog, and an own goal for San Diego. Man, that's rough. Alan, how do you feel about that?
I think our back line's good enough not to put it in our own net, but yeah, 4-1's a little rough. I don't know if we give up 4, but I don't know. I haven't seen them play anyone of note. So I wouldn't be surprised if we give up a couple, but 4's a little much. 4's a little much. That hurt a little bit.
All right. Well,
thanks, Antonio.
If you have a prediction for us, please leave it in the comments of the YouTube video. Please go on Twitter, hit us up. Go on Facebook, join our Facebook page up there. One day, John will give me actual admin privileges, and I will be able to actually post as 1868 Weekly. But any last comments on this? I think I'm fresh out. I'm just excited for home soccer. I'm excited to see what the team looks like. I'm excited to be out at Greater Nevada Field. It's supposed to be beautiful on Saturday again. And then earlier this week, it was supposed to actually rain or something, but
it's going to snow on Sunday. San Diego is just missing it.
So yeah, it's supposed to be mid-50s at kickoff. I think it was supposed to be, and then cool off later in the day.
Doesn't sound too bad, especially in the sun.
Sounds pretty good. It's supposed to be cloudy.
Oh crap! Nah.
No, Sunday is supposed to snow. You are right about that one. 50% overnight.
No, snow is rain that's colder, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a little lighter. It kind of comes down a little slower.
Oh man. Any last comments about this match, guys?
Excited. I want to smell some smoke. I want to drink some beers. I want to have a good time. And Alan, is the locals sending anybody down, or maybe not for preseason?
I haven't heard anything of note. I know that they've been trying to put together some away stuff for the regular season. I don't know if there's been a huge swell for preseason, especially, we're trying to save our voices for March 7th. I would assume that there's going to be people traveling on a way for the regular season. I haven't heard anything from the preseason though.
Okay, well, I sure hope you guys send some people down. They're the stadium surrounded by a few local brew pubs. A couple gastro pubs. There's always stuff going on downtown. So we'd like to show you guys a good time.
and the vice versa. I know we're excited to get some away fans. Torero Stadium is a phenomenal venue. You're right up on the pitch. It's pretty easy to get to. You're right outside of PB, right on the right near the water. So make a day of it. Come in for the afternoon. There's tons of beer here, good food, and then come hang out, watch a footy match, and then enjoy not snowing.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the invite.
All right. So, with that, any other news he's got going on in the USL? I'm not gonna steal anything from Matt this time, so I'll let Matt go first.
Yeah, I got a few things. I always got something lined up. I'll try to make it quick because I know you guys have other shows to do or dinner plans to get on. So I want to say just about a week ago, BGN released the Beautiful Game Network that we are a part of on the podcast network. Did an interview with Tucker Bone, new Reno 1868 player coming from Colorado Springs, talking about his education with Air Force, playing for Air Force, and then his experience with Colorado Springs, and then how he feels about coming to Reno. And it's nice to see what he says. He's being, very honest about it, but it's also very heartening because he's following along the mentality that a lot of people have. He was like, oh, Reno, maybe that's not a place I'd want to go to. But they come here and then they realize that their perception of Reno is all on, old perceptions from the 80s and before then when, there really wasn't much to it. And it was kind of like a trucker town, a pass-through town. But now it's got some life. It's got lots of local business and it's just got beautiful scenery everywhere and recreational activities. And it's really nice to see him, show us some love and that he's happy to be here in Reno.
All right, what else do you got for us? You said you had a couple.
I got a couple. So the Wooden Spoon, the USL Wooden Spoon's actually happening. The person who's running the account has gone along further with it. There is a trophy designed and ready to go. They're just putting it together right now. Pretty much every supporter group is on board except for, I want to say, New Mexico. Yeah, no. I don't know. There's a couple supporter groups who didn't want to be a part of it, and they're losers. So, sucks for them. And I really hope one of them ends up being the winner of the Wooden Spoon because we're going to put up on that plaque anyway. Going further, San Antonio might have the best kits of the season.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys.
It's so good.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it doesn't even want to come up. Okay, so that's basically the best I can give you. But dude, that checkerboard, it's a classic look, and it fits their scheme really well, and kind of jelly. I really like our kits, but that is freaking quality. Moving on, making this quick. Tampa Bay Rowdies. I'm sure you guys have seen this either on the Reddits or on Twitter, but their fire marshal has inexplicably banned smoke from their stadium. They claim that it's a safety issue and that they tested the smoke bombs and came to the conclusion that they burn at 800 degrees Fahrenheit, which is almost 200 degrees hotter than the melting point of lead. And I have popped countless amounts of smoke bombs now, and my hand has yet to melt off. So they haven't invited Ralph's Mob, the supporter group for the Rowdies, to come out to be part of the testing, or the mayor, or the team. And it seems like the fire marshal for St. Pete is just trying to act like the mayor and has kind of a I don't know, an ego trip going on. And it seems like almost everybody in the U.S. soccer community has their back, but it's yet to be seen about what's going to happen here. And Alan, are you guys allowed to do smoke? Is that going to be a thing that's happening?
We are not. I know they worked really hard to try and work with both the University of San Diego and the team itself. I know that there were some hoops that we were trying to jump through, and we just couldn't make it happen. I know the supporters group was continuing to investigate and figure out how to make it happen. But much like everything else with the Loyal, everything was super condensed, so there wasn't a lot of time to dot I's and cross T's. So we have like a fog machine right now as like a placeholder. So at least there's like some type of element of smoke-ishness. But I think everyone on board would really much rather have, the legit stuff. But I know they're continuing to work on it. They just couldn't get it done before the start of the season.
No, that's fair. We had to jump through a lot of hoops to make it happen here. It was just frustrating because you watch these other games around the league and people are just holding it a hand above their heads. But we actually had to work with our fire marshal. We had to get licensed as pyrotechnic technicians, actually. And but we actually have to. We can't hold it. We can only put in steel buckets that we keep away from the stands. Kind of near the capo stand. Which, I mean, that's fine. I'll inhale all the smoke I want. I love that stuff. And it's just really unfortunate that they had it stripped for no reason. And it is really unfortunate that you guys can't have it, and I really hope you get it in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those important things about supporters culture. But we're going to make do with what we have. We're going to do the best job we can. And I know they really tried to make it happen because there's a bunch of the AO guys from San Diego that are involved. And so I know that they've investigated, but it was the same kind of thing, like the permitting and the certification of stuff. They couldn't quite make it happen. And I think there was like a cost element that was a little bit prohibitive as well. And then not being our own venue, I think that has something to do with it as well. They worked really hard to get beer at the stadium, which didn't exist because it's a college campus.
Dude, you got to have beer.
Right, and they do. And then the supporters also have like a pregame lot that they're allowed to pregame. We're not allowed to bring food and beer, but they will sell beer and food, and like the beer is like $4. So it's relatively affordable. Yeah. So there's these things that like it's not ideal, but they've really tried to work to make it as legit as possible. And if we have to miss out on smoke for a year or two until we get our own modular stadium built somewhere, we're gonna have to wait. But I know that that's something that's on the docket to take care of.
All
Well,
right.
good luck with that, man. And yeah, I was saying I just have a little bit more. I know that Alan had hinted at it earlier, but Vegas is doing a midnight game. Kickoff at 11 p.m. I think that's July 11th or something like that. And I'm probably going to tune into that one because I have a feeling that these supporter groups are going to be absolutely housed, and there is going to be zero cohesion, and I think it's going to be hilarious. But this is just peak Vegas. The helicopter cash drop is getting old, so they got to try something new.
It's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard. I get it. Midnight games are a thing. I don't know why or how Orange County signed off. They're the opponent for this game. It's July 11th. I don't know how or why they signed off, especially because they play the Wednesday beforehand. So that's going to be an absolutely horrendous turnaround. I know that Dylan and Ray might be. I know Dylan probably will go to this game. I don't know how much Ray travels down in Orange County, but they're going to make it out to that game, hopefully. So I don't know, dude. It's a weird setup, but it's the most Vegas thing you can do. And the reasoning Orange County, because they tweeted at this earlier, the reason Orange County, Orange and Black Soccer Cast thinks is the case is because Orange County has that new deal with Rangers FC out of Scotland or Ireland, whatever. And they have a couple players that are young that are going to probably get some serious minutes down in Orange County. So it's like they have something to, advertise to their fans across the pond.
It'll be like 7 in the morning.
Yeah, 7 in the morning still. It's really early. But
hey.
you never know. I think you stole all my news. Literally all the good news this week.
Oh, I did the stealing this time.
I know, but it's about time. I steal so much from you. Alan, do you have anything to add on news related this week? I know you said you had one earlier.
Just that Phoenix fans remember that preseason is meaningless, and you might beat 3 MLS teams, but getting shut out by New Mexico, it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's not the regular season. You'll be fine.
All of a sudden, all the Banditos are saying, "Oh no, it's just preseason. We don't put any stock into this." Classic Phoenix, thinking they're better than anybody.
Oh, good stuff.
All right. Random thoughts.
Yeah, let's get everybody out of here.
So, Alan, we have this segment every week. It's random thoughts, just whatever pops into your mind right now. this is where you are given the time to say it. And even though I'm mentioning you to talk right now, Matt.
Slow down, whatever you want to call it, every single day right before you start doing the climb, because people seem to not understand that the left lane is the fast lane. You go to any other state and people like, oh, I should stay out of that lane unless I'm passing. Not in Reno. People will body themselves in there and then slow everybody down for as much as possible, and it's just delightful. But seriously, people, if you're going 50 up the hill, if your car can't make it, get the hell over. It drives me insane. And that's it. That's my rant.
All right, Alan. Now that you see how it's done, what you got for us?
I don't know how it works in Vegas, or in Reno or anywhere in Nevada, but right now it's festival season for bands in California. So good luck to all of you musicians, young and old out there. Look it up. Go support your local community groups and high schools and middle schools out there working hard right now to put on their festival performances. So if you have one local, go support it. They're usually free. Check it out. It's good stuff.
All right. And
I like it.
For me, I'd like to give well, first of all, I'm drinking the local lager. It is ironic because that's who we're playing. We're playing you guys, SD Local. But this is from Lead Dog Brewery. It's your basic lager. I don't think it's anything super special. It's just easy drinking. Something I enjoy. My actual random thought is congratulations to one of my good friends that I've known for the past 7-8 years. His name is Phil. He's a huge soccer fan also. Still working on getting him out to an 1868 game. He watches mostly Premier League and international soccer, and huge USMNT fan. But congratulations to him. He went and surprised his girlfriend on her family trip to Tokyo. In Japan in itself. He surprised them at the airport in Dallas, which is where they were flying out of. And then he just proposed to her today in one of the museums in Tokyo. So congratulations to you and Aaron. I'm happy so much for the both of you and look forward to attending that wedding in the near future. All right. Well, I guess that's almost all we have. Alan, would you like to tell us where we can find you and the Locals podcast or Fairweather podcast, because you do an amazing job with them?
Thanks. Yeah, you can find me individually, Underwood48 on the Twitter machines. The Fairweather podcast is on most of your native podcast apps. It's also through the BGN network. And you can follow us on Twitter at fair_pod on Twitter as well. Yeah. So we look forward to engaging with Reno fans.
Thank you. Matt, tell us where we can find you.
All right, you can find me mostly on the Reddits, more so on the Twitter lately. Screen name is Raff Out Loud with underscores between each word. Go check out my stupid GIFs. I've had a couple new ones recently, and I guarantee there's more coming.
All right, and you can find me at Pal on the Sky just about anywhere. I think that's all we got for you this week. So, thank you guys, as always, for listening, watching, subscribing, anything you do. Hope to see those Reno fans that are season ticket members tomorrow. And in Ian we trust. And lastly, Vamos Azules! Thanks for
Novi.
joining.
Bye, everybody.
All right, bye.
Thanks for joining us, Alan.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.